Well, for whatever reason, he said, screw it. We're going to do some banning of offshore drilling. And apparently, these rules are going to be very difficult for Trump to revoke. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back in with a new video, and I hope everyone is having a great day. I'm having a great day myself, and before I get into it, don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends, and of course, join the channel today. These are all great ways to support the daily content, but enough of the promotional stuff, let's get into it, because it appears that President Biden continues to be a disaster, and I know that's not really a hot take now, like, yeah, of course. Biden has been a disaster for years now. He's been, by far, one of the worst presidents we have ever had. Not just in the last 30 to 40 years. No, ever. He is in the bottom three. That's how bad Biden has been for years now. But by some miracle, when you think we have reached a brand new low with Joe, in the past 48 hours, we continue to reach new lows that I thought was impossible. Like, you would think that, okay, with how unpopular Biden is, you would think that at the bare minimum, they would do nothing controversial. Like, they would just sit back and do nothing for the next couple of weeks. Or at least try to do something that's semi-popular with people. You would think if he wants to save his legacy and try to bounce back his approval even a little bit, he would try to do something at least positive. Well, despite that usually being the case with every presidency, every unpopular president, they try to save their legacy or try to do something popular, just something. By some miracle, this administration gets even worse. Look at this headline here. President Biden to permanently ban more offshore oil drilling to lock in difficult to revoke rules before Trump takes office, according to Bloomberg. Yeah, in the final weeks of his presidency, he is burning everything to the ground. He does not care about Trump's administration. He does not care for America. He does not care for anything. And he is doing whatever the hell he wants. And that includes this crap. I mean, just think about this for a second. Trump takes the oath of office in 2 to 3 weeks, okay? That's everyone knows that. January 20th, he takes the oath of office. You would think that Biden would do everything he could, if he really cared, to set up Trump to be successful. Like, okay, I'm not going to be here in 2 to 3 weeks. I'm going to do everything I can to make sure everything is ran smoothly. Like, when we have a peaceful transfer of power, we can be done and nothing crazy happens. Well, for whatever reason, he said, screw it. We're going to do some banning of offshore drilling. And apparently, these rules are going to be very difficult for Trump to revoke. So it's basically a final FU to Trump on his way out. Think about that for a second. You would think with Biden wanting to protect his legacy, he would never do anything like this. And even if he did, why did he wait this entire time to do this? Why didn't he do this years ago? He could have done this even 3 months ago. But he didn't. He decided to wait all this time, and then right when Trump's going to take power, he says, screw it, we're going to sign this bill. And it's going to be nearly impossible for Trump to revoke it. But okay, you could argue that maybe this was a fluke. This was a one-off occurrence by Biden, and that's it. Like, okay, that's bad, but he's not trying to purposely screw Trump over. Well, guess what? This isn't the only thing Biden has done ever since Trump won. In fact, it's been nothing but bad stuff. Not just one thing, not just two things, but nearly everything Joe has done has been a negative and an FU to Trump. Just look at what's happening in Ukraine. For whatever reason, in the final weeks of his administration, he's trying to escalate conflict in Ukraine even more. He wants more war there. For whatever reason, he keeps spending tens of billions of dollars on Ukraine. He's trying to escalate things even further. It's like, what are you doing, dude? Like, I know you're not the president come January 20th, but at least pretend to try to stop World War III from starting. But for whatever reason, his administration is saying, screw it, Trump can deal with it later. I mean, just that philosophy is not only dumb, it's dangerous because, yeah, Trump could deal with it later, but if you idiots escalate it even further, we're talking about World War III possibly. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but that's what these idiots are. This is the game they're playing. They don't care about the future because they lost power, and as an FU to Trump, they want to see the world burn because they lost, and they're so mad about it and they can't accept the fact they lost, they're going to do everything they can for Trump to fail. Has there ever been an administration that has done anything like this ever, where they're doing everything they can to hinder the successor? I don't think this has ever happened, ever. Whether it was a Democrat getting the White House after a Republican, whether it was a Republican that got into the White House after a Democrat, I cannot think of a single time in history that the administration that lost is doing this. Like, they're not even pretending to try to work with Trump and his people. They're doing everything they can as an FU. But by some miracle, this isn't even the worst part. Look at what's happening in Las Vegas, in New Orleans, in New York. It's all a disaster, and this administration, they're doing nothing. They put out a small statement yesterday about New Orleans, and that's it. And yeah, Biden spoke at Camp David or wherever it was, but he spoke for 2 minutes, said nothing of note, and walked away without taking any questions, without anything really being said. It's like, what? There was just a terrorist attack on U.S. soil that happened under your watch, and you gave like a 2-minute speech and leave without taking questions? In fact, these people are so incompetent, or they don't care, that they didn't say anything about this until like 10 hours after it happened. After we knew, okay, this was an attack, something happened in New Orleans, this wasn't an accident. In fact, they said, Happy New Year, before they said anything about what happened in New Orleans. I mean, this is a joke that this administration is pulling crap like this. But somehow, that's not even the worst thing. Look at this report from Axios. This is real, by the way. This is coming right from Axios. Scoop. Biden discussed plans to strike Iran nuclear sites if Iran speeds towards bomb. Yeah, this is a real headline from Axios. And you read into what's being said here, and essentially, Jack Sullivan, the National Security Advisor, presented Joe with options to potentially attack Iran if they move towards a nuclear weapon before January 20th. Yeah, they're talking about potentially attacking Iran in the final days of their administration, right before Trump takes office. They said nothing like this before. For years now, they said nothing. In fact, they did nothing. Anything Iran did, they just stood back and let it happen. But the millisecond they're going to lose power, they're saying, yeah, we gotta bomb Iran if they pull something here. What? In the final days of the presidency? Are you insane? But this is from Axios. We're not talking about some far-right news outlet or Fox News or whatever. This is Axios. They're reporting that they're talking about potentially striking Iran if they get a nuke. Which, listen, I have no clue what they're going to do. I don't know if Iran's going to get a nuke or not. Who knows? But the fact that they're talking about this at the last millisecond, right before Trump takes power, is insane. It's ridiculous. It's dangerous. Because you're basically saying, oh, Iran and Trump, if Iran does something bad, we're going to bomb them, and then Trump has to clean it up. These are the people running the country. They're talking about potentially bombing Iran in the final days of their presidency. They're talking about various scenarios, and apparently this was just a month ago. So it's not like this happened 3 years ago and it's brought up now. It happened back in December, and they're potentially talking about bombing Iran. This is insane. This is utter insanity that this administration is doing stuff like this. I mean, who thought this was a good idea? And the worst part is, it leaked to Axios, so now the entire world knows if Iran does something, we're probably going to bomb them. This is unbelievable. who let this leak, and why the hell are they talking about this now? Should they have talked about this 3 years ago? We've known for years they've been trying to get a nuke. But at the last second, they're realizing out of nowhere, oh, Iran might have a nuke now, so we might have to bomb them. Just, you can't make this up. I really thought this was a fake article when I first saw it. I said to myself, there's no way that they're talking about bombing Iran in the final days. Well, nope, guess what? They actually are. I mean, what an amazing start to 2025. We're in the second day of the new year, and they're talking about potentially bombing Iran. And I know people are going to say, oh, well, Trump blew up Soleimani. Guess what? That scumbag deserved it. And Trump was smart about it. He was smart, and it worked. This administration, knowing them, if they try to bomb Iran, it would be a colossal disaster. I mean, the fact that they're even talking about this now should terrify everyone. This should make everyone terrified of what's going to happen. I mean, we're talking about this right before Trump's going to take power? Bombing Iran because of something we've known for like 10 years now? What? Well, why discuss this now? You had all this time to deal with it, but now you worry about it. It makes you really wonder, why the hell are they so worried about Iran out of nowhere, right before Trump takes power? It's as if, maybe this administration does not give a rat's ass. They don't care what they don't care because guess what? They're gone in a couple weeks. So who cares what happens? That's Trump's problem. That's the Orange Man's problem. He's got to fix all the crap that we did in the last 4 years. But they're trying to escalate things to make it even worse. They're not even trying to make it better. They're not trying to give Trump a decent shot. They're doing everything they can to screw the guy over for whatever reason. Like, what's the excuse here? What's the excuse about talking about potentially bombing Iran? I know Israel did this a couple months ago, I understand that, but we're the United States. Don't say in public, at least to Axios, yeah, we're discussing plans to bomb Iran and potentially start a shit show over there right before you leave. And you notice, they said it before January 20th, which I know that's the last day to take office, or they're in office for, but the fact that they're specifically mentioning that they're going to potentially attack them right before Trump takes office should make everyone worried as hell. I'm worried about it now because what's going to happen? Like, I don't think anything really would happen. I highly doubt that the United States would really bomb Iran, but knowing the Biden administration, would you be surprised that they would pull crap like this? I cannot believe that this is the final days of this administration. I thought they were going to pretend to be, working with Trump, and they were pretending to do stuff that's popular. They're doing the opposite. I mean, I have never seen any administration do this ever. Usually unpopular administrations, they pretend to do good stuff, try to get their legacy back, try to improve their approval. But now it's like, he's doing such a piss poor job the last couple of months. There's a chance that if something happens in Iran, Biden's popularity could be even worse than Bush's was in 2008. I mean, Bush was at like, what, a 20% approval, 15%? Biden's at like 31% right now. It is getting bad. That doesn't happen, by the way. Most presidents, their popularity goes up in their final weeks, in their final months. With Biden, it's collapsing. The floor's caving in. And now, it could get even worse with what's happening in New Orleans, with Las Vegas, New York City, with now Iran, them pulling some crap now. We are in dangerous times. We need Trump back ASAP. This is not a joke anymore. We're talking about U.S. bombing Iran? Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Godspeed to all of you.